How can Taylorism help you dramatically raise your SAT or ACT score? First of all, what is Taylorism? Well, Taylorism was a method of scientific management designed by Frederick Taylor, who lived from 1856 to 1915, and he introduced this scientific management into factories. Unfortunately, in later years, some of his methods were dismissed as being dehumanizing, and all kinds of negative connotations were associated with scientific management. This is called throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Very unfortunate. However, you have the opportunity now to use the principles of scientific management, Taylorism, developed by Frederick Taylor, to help raise your SAT and ACT score. Let's get right into it. One of the precepts of Taylorism, number one, were time and motion studies. He would stand at factories or appoint managers at factories with a stopwatch to learn how much time it took to do a particular task. Now, in a factory setting, unfortunately, this led to some problems where people were encouraged to do things quickly just for the sake of doing them quickly. So that was a misapplication of the principle. Let's get to the proper application of the principle. The principle of a time and motion study is exactly how much time are you engaging in certain motions. Let's apply that to SAT and ACT. So when you're actually taking the SAT and ACT, and remember, this can be imitated by the practice exams that you do, you need to ask yourself some key questions. Number one, in the math, how much time are you taking per problem? Which problems are you taking the most time on? Why? In the reading, how much time are in the critical reading section? How much time are you taking on the questions? How much time are you taking on the reading? Can you lower the amount of time that you're spending on the reading and raise the amount of time on questions? What will be the result? In the writing section, how much time are you spending on the preparation of writing? How much time are you spending on the actual writing? Can you alternate between the two? Measuring is simply science. Unfortunately, sometimes this gets equated with feeling under pressure. No, it's just holding yourself accountable. Now, if somebody else is externally putting an amount of time on, that's just the nature of the standardized test. So let's look at some immediate applications on this. First of all, we want standardization. So standardize the way that you approach a standardized exam, logical, and you want to watch your time and motion. So one application would be when you're filling in the bubbles on the test, is using your time and motion study. You noted that you are taking an additional 30 seconds by noting the answer in the test booklet and going and bubbling on the test. What if you have the answer booklet open, that you did the time and motion study and you bubbled in all of them at the same time from the open 2 pages onto the sheet? This is an application of Taylorism. Another thing that you can do, and yes, I was just looking at some notes there, is check the time that you're spending on any particular type of problem and determine why you're spending the amount of time on that particular problem. Are there certain problems that are getting you stuck? You know, for instance, in math, are you in the SAT, are you weakest on function problems? Are those taking you more time? Is it taking you a minute and a half on function problems but only a minute on word problems? That tells me that you have a time and motion problem. You need to get into the actual numbers, not get distracted by the numbers, but note that's where more time needs to be spent. Um, the same thing holds true in any other kind of math problem. On word problems, is there a certain particular kind of word problem, whether it's on the SAT or ACT, that's throwing you off? Noting that brings some science to this. This is huge. If you can record, if you can measure, you can improve. What gets measured gets improved. That's a saying that I've heard a number of times. In addition, just referencing my notes here again, is you go into the English grammar section, the writing section. Are there certain kinds of prompts that throw you off and make you spend a lot more time on them? What is it about the prompt that throws you off? You want to analyze that and know how much time are you spending initially setting it up. Are you trying to set it up to perfection, or should you be setting up to the basic kind of steps? What can you do to speed up that overall process? Should you write bullet points versus writing complete sentences? Obviously, I think you should write bullet points because you can get your ideas across. So you can use Taylorism, scientific management, time and motion studies, and accomplish a great deal on increasing your SAT score, or ACT score, or PSAT score. You name it. I enjoyed sharing these ideas with you today. The important thing to me is that they're used and that they help you raise your score. If you have any questions, you can contact me at tutorpro88@gmail.com, affordable-tutor.com.